Good afternoon, everybody. The City of Parksville recognizes the Coast Salish people and their traditional territory upon which we gather with gratitude. I want to call the public hearing for Monday, October the 19th, 2020 to order, and I will ask the corporate officer to introduce the public hearing process and the first item on the agenda, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Local Government Act requires a public hearing be held before Council adopts an amendment to the zoning bylaw or official community plan bylaw. Copies of the staff reports and related information respecting the subject amendment bylaw have been available for public examination on the city's website and at City Hall located at 100 Jensen Avenue East in the Parksville Civic and Technology Center since September 9th. At this public hearing, all persons who believe their interest in property to be affected by the proposed bylaw shall be afforded an opportunity to be heard on matters contained within the bylaw. Anyone wishing to be heard on the bylaw amendment must come to the microphone at the appropriate time and clearly state their name and civic address or city of residence. Council requests speakers restrict their presentations to the proposed bylaw. The purpose of this public hearing is for Council to hear from interested persons in relation to the impact of the proposed bylaw on their property. Council's authority is limited to regulation or prohibition in relation to the use of the land. Council does not have the authority to regulate or prohibit in relation to the user of the land. As such, Council requests speakers restrict their presentations to the proposed bylaw and the uses permitted under that bylaw, and refrain from any comments in relation to possible users of the subject property. Council will not tolerate inappropriate personal attacks or comments which are discriminatory or defamatory. The function of Council today is to listen to the public presentations and not to engage in debate. Whether you are for or against the proposed bylaw, during the course of the public hearing, Council would ask you not to display any outbursts as a courtesy to all present. Council asks you treat all speakers with respect and neither cheer or applaud when you agree with the speaker's presentation, nor jeer or boo when you disagree with the speaker's presentation. Council wishes to ensure every speaker has a fair opportunity to be heard, that the environment at the public hearing is a positive one, and that individuals do not feel uncomfortable or intimidated from expressing their views, either in support of or in opposition to the proposed bylaw. Again, Council will not tolerate comments or behavior that are intimidating or create a negative environment which deters people from speaking. No presentations or submissions will be received by Council on the proposed bylaw after the motion for termination of the public hearing for the proposed bylaw has been adopted. There is one item on the public hearing agenda this afternoon. Zoning and Development Amendment Bylaw 2020, number 2000.129. In general terms, the purpose of the proposed amendment is intended to facilitate the development of a 71-unit residential apartment building at 115 McMillan Street South, legally described as Lot A, District Lot 89, Neuse District, Plan EPP 12816. This is proposed to be facilitated by amending the Comprehensive Development CD 19A zone to increase the maximum residential apartment density and maximum floor area ratio permitted in this zone. As of noon on October 19th, 2020, 2 items of correspondence had been received in response to this application. One item of correspondence received was neither explicitly for nor against the proposal, but expressed some general concerns regarding site development. A second item of correspondence received was in opposition, citing concerns regarding building height, emergency services, healthcare implications, parking, and density. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well done, by the way. I'd like to invite anyone who would like to speak to come forward to the microphone and give their name and civic address for the record. Do we have any speakers for or against this? Do we have somebody? Pardon me? Okay, I thought so.
Good afternoon. My name is Bonnie Daw, and I live at 220 Island Highway West, Waterford Place in Parksville, adjacent to the proposed property. Mr. Mayor and council members, back in August, I wrote to you regarding the proposed development at 115 McMillan. Thank you to those who responded. One of my concerns is that the developer is attempting to use a previous site-specific designation of the property as an assisted living community congregate living care designation for their proposed residential apartment building. In an assisted care living facility, units are small, comprising 1 bedroom or studio units, whereas in the proposed apartment building, there are 35 1-bedroom units and 36 2-bedroom units. These could be occupied by a couple, increasing the density from 71 people to 142, and possibly by a family, which could potentially increase the density to 214 people if fully occupied. An assisted living facility requires only 29 parking spaces, whereas with the proposed apartment building, there are 71 spaces with no provision for visitors. This puts increased parking pressure on the existing neighborhood and businesses. As well, it is common for families to have more than 1 car. Another problem I have is that the developer is now positing a 5-story building, which contravenes the multi-use residential designation in Parksville's existing official plan. In conclusion, the proposal far exceeds the allowable units per hectare, even with a high-density zoning. Zoning bylaws are in place to control and restrict bad development. Surrounding homeowners and businesses should not have to bear the brunt of a developer's cost if the developer is unable to make a profit within the bylaw requirements. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is that okay?
That's fine. You did well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite anybody else who has anything to add.
Can I take my mask off?
Of course you can.
That way you can hear me better.
Yes.
My name is Bob Tower. I live at 220 Island Highway West, across the street from this development. One of the reasons that I have objections to is restricting it to 4 levels. The 2 units that are close to it were restricted to 4 levels, and that's not just 4 floors, but that's 4 total levels, including parkade. The city of Parksville has designated McMillan Street as a downtown urban collector. I see a hazard in the location of the parkade exit. All vehicle activity from this development will enter and exit Morrison Street, only a few meters from the intersection of Morrison and McMillan. This close proximity is a main concern and I believe will present a very large hazard. However, the updated traffic safety study that's going to be done for this property, I'm hoping will identify this. The building in your list says Sustainable Community Building Checklist number 6. Anything including seniors design. There was nothing added for this. We're in a seniors community here, so I don't understand why there was nothing added for this. Next to McMillan and Morrison, there are 6 refuse bins, which appear to be enclosed in something. I propose that these would be put inside the parkade and not left out on the sidewalk where it's visible and smellable. There's a food catering and personal services area in the building drawing, but no visitor parking. About parking, the assumption that there was an abundance of street parking and available parking in adjacent areas of the strata and the businesses is a flawed statement. These businesses and strata were constructed with this parking in mind, so that's their parking and it's not available to anyone else. Also, if the city of Edmonton does approve this, I'm from Edmonton, guys. If the city of Parksville does approve this, you are approving 71 possible vehicles in this lot. No matter what, they say that, yes, these people, a lot of them may not have vehicles, but you are allowing 71 vehicles. So down the road, if they come and they say, oh, well, you allowed it, well, you allowed it. The 71 units which Bonnie just described, I'm not going to go into any more detail, but this is my main concern. 71 units, way too many for this area. So for these reasons, I am opposed to this zoning bylaw amendment in its present form. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Are there any other speakers?
Hello, everybody. My name is, may I take my mask off?
Yes, please.
Thank you. My name is Dawn Ryan, and I live on Wallace Street in about the middle of the proposed development. And I wish to talk as the effects on a homeowner. What I will have is my privacy will be gone in my backyard. My bedroom is at the back. And I will have this giant shadow of this huge building to live with all the time. I will lose my son. And I just was able to afford to put a deck out the back. That is not going to be enjoyable at all because it's going to be in full shadow for virtually all of the day. So it will just simply destroy the enjoyment of my property. As I say, I'm in my 70s and I was really looking forward to being there for a while, but I may have to change my mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do we have any other speakers? So for a second time, I'll invite anybody who would like to speak to come forward. And for a third and final time, anyone who would like to speak to come forward. I would like to ask council if they would, if somebody would make a motion to receive the correspondence that we received on this item. So moved by Councillor Frass, seconded by Councillor O'Brien. All those in favor of receiving? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you. And I will now ask for a motion to terminate the public hearing for zoning and development amendment bylaw 2020 number 2000.129. Need a motion, Councillor Greer, seconded by Councillor O'Brien. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Now, just to advise the public that the public hearing is now adjourned and council cannot entertain any further submissions or correspondence from the public on the proposed bylaws. At the conclusion of the public hearing, which has already happened, we ask for a motion to adjourn. And so I just wanted to let you know that we are not allowed to speak on this matter any further. Thank you. And we're going to take a recess for 5 minutes so we can set up for the council meeting.